Don't rain too much longer, they'll have to get in the fields. Please call the roll.
Hoffman.
Here.
Lard.
Here.
Swallow. Here. Adair.
Here.
Brooks.
Here.
Parsons.
Here.
Bowman.
Here.
Item 4 is discussion and action on the consent agenda. All of the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at city council meetings will be approved by one vote of the council. Any member of the council desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items: approval of the minutes of the regular meeting April 15, 2024, approval of the minutes of the special meeting April 25th, 2024, approval of the minutes of the special meeting May 8th, 2024, approval of claims in the amount of $253,602.03 and payroll expenses of $234,788.96.
You make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Huh?
There's an E.
ASAP.
And approval of ASAP Energy invoices in the amount of $32,208 and $25,033.32. Now I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it. Have a motion from Mr. Bowman and a second from Mr. Brooks to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Lard.
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
Swallow. Yes. Hoffman.
Yes.
Adair.
Yes.
All right. Page 1's done. All right. Item 5 is, item 6, reports from staff. There is no planning commission meeting report. Alva Hospital Authority meeting on April 23rd.
I'm going to say it was mainly routine business, so I have nothing to report.
Any questions for Mr. Bowman? All right. Next item is the library board meeting on April 13th. Mr. Ford, can you give that report?
Very much like Mr. Bones, just a lot of routine business, nothing to report. I think it was pretty quick and short.
I do need to appoint a council member to that board. So if anybody has interest in that, please get with me. And if I don't hear from somebody will win.
That board is 4 o'clock in the afternoon too, so that's something to consider.
Okay. Item D, Alva Arena Authority meeting. It was canceled. Item E, Alva Tourism Tax Commission meeting on April 24th. I also, we checked on that, and we do not require a council member on that board. Is that correct?
Yep.
The majority, or a lot of the conversation, though, from that meeting was regarding the Chamber's contract with the Tourism Committee, and then also with regard to the item that we have on our agenda here in a little bit with regard to the lodging tax. Anything? You weren't there, were you?
Yeah, that was a thought.
You were there? Is there anything else?
Is that when we approved the PD's money for their cookout? Was that in March?
I think that was previous.
I think that was it.
Yeah, okay, March. Yeah. No, there wasn't anything else.
We have our esteemed chairwoman here. Do you have anything to share?
I do, but I don't,
Later on the agenda?
yeah, I think
Okay.
I'm in public comments.
Okay. All right. The next item is the Board of Adjustments meeting. There was not a Board of Adjustments meeting. The Alva Regional Airport meeting. We did do the annual evaluation for the airport manager. I will say that he's doing a fantastic job, and so the board gave him a favorable evaluation. Steve probably has already addressed that with him, and so there's that. We also, the airport board looked at their budget and made some recommendations for changes, so those will be available for the public hearing when we get that scheduled. But they were just kind of some cleanup things based on knowledge of upcoming projects and past performance. Any questions regarding the airport meeting? Next item is the Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. This says none. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. And then the cemetery meeting, also, they didn't meet, they haven't met yet this quarter. And then the Finance Committee meeting on May 20th. Dr. Lar?
Pretty routine meeting. We did welcome Ms. Swallow onto our committee. I was the lone survivor on that one. Right now, cash analysis, we're at about $3 million, a little over $3 million in cash. Our investments are $4,165,000 as of April 30th. The general fund has collected $5.6 million, which is 75% of what is anticipated for the year. And we've expended $5.8 million, so we're a little bit behind. We're probably going to have to make a transfer from the Utility Authority Fund, which is actually up over $300,000 right now, and what we've collected over what we've expended. The AED, Economic Development Fund, has collected $2.1 million, which is 43% of what's anticipated, and we've expended $2.4 million, or 93% of what we budgeted. We're expecting to get some donations for the pool and whatnot, which will raise that up. The month of April, the city of Alva received $349,000 in sales tax and $39,000 in use tax, which is up almost 10% from April of 23 and 7.71% from March of this year. The utility billing, we billed $395,000 in utilities, and we had an increase of $41,000 from March, so that's a plus. And then outside of that, we've got 4 CDs coming up that we're going out for bid, so hoping to get some good interest on those.
Any questions for Dr. Lar? We will be appointing one more council member, or I will be appointing one more council member to the Finance Committee, and so we'll let me know your thoughts on that too. Outside of here. Next item, any questions for Dr. Lar? City Mayor's report, other than, continuing the special meetings that we've had and the other meetings that I've attended, I did have the honor of being the guest speaker at the Alva High School academic banquet. That was really nice. A lot of great students in the room there, and so that was good. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report. Any questions for me? All right, business manager's report.
Good news is Locust Street is tied in today. So we tied in the work that Jackson Civil was doing on the other 2 blocks west with all the work we did on the 700 and 800 block. So there are 4 blocks of brand new line on Locust Street now. So that headache is finally almost going away. We're working with the company to contract out the curbing of the 700 block, and then we'll be laying asphalt on that block as well. So try to make that as nice a street as possible. Ball fields out there, Courtney's hosted 2 tournaments so far. 1 baseball last week and 1 softball this week. Both went very well. We've got 1 field left to get turf on, and then that project will be complete. The pool is coming on nicely. I think it's supposed to be sometime next week. They're going to start pouring concrete for the floor of the pool. So that's coming along. We did have success finally after almost a year of fighting it. We did have an opportunity due to weather and everything to burn our limb pile out of the Chester site, so that limb pile is gone, which is nice. So we're going to try to be a little more organized about how we take limbs in from now on. Still working on a couple other research projects that I just need to keep working on until we get some good answers on them. And then just trying to work on the budget so we can have our budget hearing and get this budget approved for this year. That's about what's going on.
Any questions for Mr. Ford?
I noticed they had a lot of fire hydrants cracked wide open up on Locust. Was that just a depressurized?
It was. We didn't have any valves up there to turn off, so they had to try to get as much water off that line as they could. And that street kind of runs downhill, so that's about the only way they could do that was to creek open the fire hydrants.
I've had a couple citizens ask me about little spots where there are leaks, that there's been leaks for a while. Is there, how do you guys determine that? I mean, is it just if it's not a major leak, I mean?
Yeah, it's we get to the small ones when we can.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to focus on the major leaks and everything else first, and then get to the small ones when we can. And there are plenty of those little incubators leaks around. We know it. We've got them all cataloged. It's just
Give the time
get
to.
to them when we can.
Okay.
Are you pleased with the progress on the budget?
I think so. I think we're getting there. Mayor may say differently, but I think we're getting there.
We are getting there. I haven't had as much time to spend with it this year, so it's, the numbers aren't just jumping out at me like they did last year when I was married to that thing. So, any other questions for Mr. Ford?
Yeah, I might say the City of Alva app works really well. If you don't have that app, it's pretty cool. Now my question is, you've completed all of my complaints. How do I know? Just look at them if they're completed?
No, I don't know. You can't necessarily look at iWorks, but I can go pull a report and look at them, and then I can shoot you an email and tell you.
Okay, do me a favor. Look at 702-056-194.
056-194.
Okay. It's free in the App Store.
If you don't have that app, it's awesome. You can see something wrong. You can log it. Steven sees it. He'll get back with you. So if you haven't used
Do
it.
we still have the text system we implemented a while ago where you could sign up to receive text messages? Is that still active?
Text my gov.
Yeah.
Is that still active?
I'll have to check.
It may still be active, but we don't use it.
You don't use it?
We're trying to push everybody out to the app so I can send out one note at a time, and it works out pretty well through the app. It's just like everybody else is pushing notifications on the apps. So.
Anything else for Mr. Ford? All right. We will move on to remarks and inquiries by citizens. Public comments will be limited 2 minutes per speaker, and we would request that the speaker please identify himself or herself. So, floor is open.
Good evening, I'm Melinda Barton. I am the chairman of the Tourism Tax Committee. I want to tell you a little bit about the hotel motel tax for your information because I know it's an item on your agenda. The hotel motel tax is a 5% per night at hotels, bed and breakfast, or other lodging in Alva. Long-term tenants in our hotels are not charged this ordinance, and the tax was approved by Alva citizens in the year 2000. Since that time, the tourism tax has funded many events, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of initiatives, which have impacted the quality of life of Alva citizens, encouraged tourism, and had a positive economic impact on the businesses in our city. Other cities nearby are charging a higher percentage. Winoka is at 8%, we're at 5%. Guyman is at 8%. There's lots of other examples. In 2015, during the oil boom, the tax brought in $460,000, took a big hit during COVID, and this year the tax will bring in about $150,000, so we're down to almost a third of what we were collecting. The committee is asking the council to allow the citizens of Alva to vote on raising the percentage to 8% to be competitive with other cities in our region. As we said in 2000 when we were working on passing this the first time, this is a tax that visitors in our city pay when using one of our lodging establishments. The hotel motel owners and our citizens who live in town do not pay it. Alva citizens voted, and it benefits all of us. The tax and the committee have a long track record of success. There is not one citizen in Alva, I don't believe, that has not benefited from this. The car show, the cruise nights, the rodeos, the sports teams, the mural society, barbecue cook-offs, arts festival, Chamber of Commerce initiatives, and so many more events that we have been able to have because we have this tax. This has been a blessing for our community. I'm super proud to have worked on it 25 years ago when we passed it the first time, and I encourage you guys to consider it and to allow our citizens to vote on it again. This has been a great thing for our city. So anyway, are there questions? I don't know if I take questions. So
We may, Mrs. Barton, we may call on you as an expert when we have discussion
Okay.
on the regular agenda item, but
yeah, thank you for your consideration.
I'm Megan Lear, and I'm actually on behalf of Melody too. She asked that the Chamber of Commerce come and represent them and express our gratitude for what the Tourism Tax Committee has provided for the Chamber, because that helps us move and groove. And right now we're kind of in a transition. We've lost our executive director, but we have a very, very strong board right now, and we're working to raise the bar on communication with the Alva Chamber and the Alva citizens and really get things moving. And when it comes to the tourism tax money and how much less is available this year as it was in prior years, the Chamber continues to need to grow and do more exciting things. And since we're kind of the central hub between Winoka and Cherokee and other things and around Alva, and we have all the hotels, the opportunity for growth of other events that can come to Alva based on the amount of money we get through tourism, through that tax, that moving it from 5% to 8%, could be really, really exciting. And one of the things the Chamber's working on right now is a really large Christmas event that will hopefully bring people to town overnight while they're here to go to Northwestern's graduation and create an atmosphere of down home, bringing Christmas home for the holidays. And with that, we're not asking for more money, but we're just appreciative of everything we've gotten from the tourism tax. And I just want to express the opportunities that we're really, really fighting for to bring more people to town. And with the raise in percentage, I think that will really, really help rejuvenate even more with all the other stuff going on in Alva.
anybody else like to make a comment? All right, well, thank you. Next item is NWSU Foundation presentation on the Alva Incentive Scholarship Program for 2024 spring semester.
Good evening, Mayor,
Mr. Byrd.
Council. Tonight I have with me Dr. Bo Hannaford, our University President, and in the corner, a regular from here, Dr. David Pickey, Executive Vice President. So I want to lead off by thanking you on behalf of the foundation and for the students. You supported 284 students. That's a huge number if you put them all in the room. It'd be really crowded in here, but you make a huge difference in our community. Before you, you should have a bill for $272,010. I'll be happy to answer any questions that anyone might have about the bill.
So for our new council members, we're hearing a presentation here in City Council, and then we will vote on funding the invoice in our Economic Development Authority meeting. But Mr. Byrd is able to field any questions, and then the university staff can also help answer right now.
What is the total number of students that attend Northwestern here in Alva?
15,
Yeah, probably,
15.
last year was probably about 50.
And that's just the Alva campus?
Yep.
Okay. What was the number when the program started? Do you
That's
know?
not a fair question. You got to give us some lead time.
Oh, yeah, and that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have to, I don't.
Yeah.
First one,
2000.
2000. I'd just be curious to know.
the year 2000.
Yeah, you can, you can shoot me a text or whatever. It's no.
Okay. And you can tell me these questions before the meeting. I can have answers at the meeting.
Of course, yeah.
Anything else?
Okay.
Dr. Hannaford?
Yes, I mean, we follow me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, number one, to the community of Alva and the council for supporting our students at Northwestern. I'll be brief, but A lot of times we've come in the past and talked about the economic development that we do in terms of the fall and the spring semesters. But I also want to tell you that it's been very important for us. I told you when I took this job, we're going to be great partners with our community. This summer alone, actually starting today, we're going to serve about over 1,000 students, middle school and high school students, with various camps at Northwestern. Some of them will be large, anywhere from 200 to 300, down to about 25 to 30. We'll also have some camps. We've got a baseball tournament that our baseball program is putting in, where we'll have, I believe, 12 to 14 different teams across Oklahoma and some other states that will be here in our community for several days. So we're really excited about what that's doing. That economic impact that our students and our families have had, and we'll continue to do that throughout the year. So thank you again.
Thank you. And obviously, thanks Northwestern for being such a great partner in our communities for such a long period of time. And we always look forward to anything I do anyway, anything I can do with the Rangers. And I know that the community has appreciated having a college here. Next item, discussion and action to approve and authorize the city business manager to sign memorandum of understanding between the City of Alva Tourism Committee and the Alva Chamber of Commerce with an annual cost of $45,000 to be billed quarterly at a cost of $11,250. This is not new. This is something that's been going on for 1 or 2 years now at this level. But the Chamber has been the Tourism Committee's partner in tourism promotions. And this is the agreement between the Tourism Committee and the Chamber to provide those services. The Tourism Committee did vote to approve this at their last meeting, and so final step is council approval. I'd entertain a motion.
I had a question. Can they answer questions on this?
We can have questions.
Okay. As far as like the Visit Alva side, the Visit Alva website, is that still, I know the calendar, it stays pretty updated, but besides that on that website, is there in the last year been much done with it?
It's active.
Okay.
All of the majority of the businesses that are on that website are chamber members.
Okay.
So they're similar to what's on alvaok.net.
Okay.
I'm going to say they're a carbon copy at least over on the Visit Alva side, and then it's additional things like the Alabaster Patterns, floodplains, which aren't chamber members. So it's, I believe all the churches are on the Visit Alva site. So it's got all the chamber members. It's correlated, so it's linked, and
we probably can't attest to whether any updates to that website have happened in the past year, because that would have happened during the tenure of the previous executive director. We do have access to all of that, the board does, so that is, hopefully we can get our hands around what in this interim time, having people that can go in and update that information. So right now we're focusing really hard on the events.
right.
Yeah, just looking at it, it has all the 2023 guides that are from like Red Carpet, and it seems like they're always behind on their guide anyway, so they may not even have theirs out. I don't know.
Okay, well, the 2024 is on alvaok.net, and so we'll make sure we get the
Okay,
24
just,
over to Visit
and
Alva.
just if we could kind of get that up to, I'd also be curious, and I know you're not going to have today, if we have a way to track the numbers of people who are going to that website.
And quarterly, we give a outcomes report to
Okay.
the tourism tax that has
Okay.
all the analytics from Visit Alva.
It's also reported monthly to the chamber board.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we've got past copies of those if you want to see them, and so it does have a counter on
Okay.
it that tells us how much activities there. It's hit a lot. That calendar is very popular, so we're pleased with it.
There's always room for growth.
Yes, of course.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to authorize the city business manager to sign the MOU between the Alva Tourism Committee and the Alva Chamber of Commerce for the annual cost listed on the agenda.
Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Adair and a second from Mrs. Swallow to approve and authorize the city manager to sign the MOU between the Tourism Committee and the Chamber of Commerce for an annual cost of $45,000, billed quarterly at a cost of $11,250. Is there any further discussion?
I think the winds of economic downturn are in our face, and I want to say to you ladies especially, thank you for everything that you do to try and keep things coming to town. I believe you to be an invaluable part of our community, and the efforts that you guys put forth are certainly appreciated and richly reaped when we do have our activities. So thank you for all your work.
Any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Adair,
Yes.
Swallow. Yes. Parsons,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Brooks,
Abstain.
Lahr.
Yes.
One more year.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Next item is discussion and action to approve and authorize the city business manager to sign the contract between ADP Payroll Services and the city of Alva at an annual cost of $16,376.26. This is within the business manager's spending authority, but it'd just be a matter of entering into the agreement with them and switching our payroll services. Looking like they'll be able to lock the pricing in for 10 years, and then should realize year one, 40,000 or over the 10 years?
No, year one.
Year one, $40,000 savings.
Now, is this 10 years, are we forced, it sounds like a great deal, but is this agreeing that we're going to use them for 10 years, or is
It's still year to year, it's still annual.
Okay.
But we're going to have the opportunity to lock in that rate for 10 years, so it won't be going up for at least 10 years.
And did you go to them, or was it just research that? I was just saying.
Yeah,
thank you.
I saw it on a website or something. And
Well, I appreciate. I mean,
looked at it and I was like,
over 10 years, that's huge. So I appreciate you doing that. I think that's going to be a great thing.
Make a motion to approve and authorize the city business manager to sign the contract between ADP Payroll Services and the city of Alva at an annual cost of $16,376.26.
I'll second.
Have a motion from Dr. Lahr and a second from Mr. Parsons to approve and authorize the city business manager to sign the contract between ADP and the city of Alva at an annual cost of $16,376.26. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Lahr.
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Swallow. Yes.
Item 11 is discussion and action to authorize the mayor and city business manager to negotiate an agreement with Retail Strategies for city council approval. The presentation last week from Retail Strategies, we have an opportunity, coming out of that, we didn't have a quorum to be able to take action on this item and have those negotiations approved at the special meeting, but we did go ahead and hear the presentation. And so today we have on the agenda to have Steve and I work with them to bring back a contract for your consideration.
I wasn't able to attend that, but I did review the proposal that they gave us, and I think it could be a really good thing, but my biggest concern is looking at that proposal and the people that they want to recruit to our community. I would say 90% of the people they're talking about recruiting do have a fairly strict rule when it comes to where they're going to open their business based on population. And we don't qualify for maybe 10% of the businesses that are listed as people they recruit as far as population goes. So that was, a big concern of mine. Like in the proposal, it said a person that they look at recruiting is Dunkin' Donuts, and they even have it listed here that the minimum population is 9,000 people. And I think it could be a great thing, but I think that it sounds like the conferences that they're going to and the people they're recruiting, I just don't know if that would be successful here. I'm all for economic development. I'm all for spending money that's going to be a return on investment. But my worry is that, we're going to pay them over $100,000. In 3 years, they're going to come back and say, hey, nobody was interested because of your size. And I know that, you got to start somewhere, but it's a lot of money to pay them without any sort of performance based. I mean, if they came to us and said, for every new business that we bring you that's going to generate sales tax dollars, you're going to pay us $30,000, something like that. Yeah, let's do it. But we could be with them for 3 years, and they could, my understanding, if they bring us nothing, we're still having to pay for that. And on these businesses here, I don't see many that would be even considering opening in a place with the population of what we have, but that's just my thoughts on it.
Mr. Parsons, I think you're thinking a little too small. When they came and presented, what they talked about was a regional hub. So the population of the region that they drew out, Alva, and the outside areas, much like Walmart is a retail hub here, vastly exceeds the population numbers for the ones that they have targeted to recruit. Now, we can't guarantee success at all, but I think that we would be amiss if we didn't at least take a look at the fine print. So before we get too deep into the weeds, I'm certainly interested in seeing a drawn-up proposal and what they actually place in the contract. So I would be all for this if somebody else.
And they did say that they factor in like through traffic too when they're talking with these businesses, like how many people are going through Alva on the highway and stuff, not just like Matt's saying, not just our overall population. I'd make a motion to authorize the mayor and city business managers to negotiate an agreement with Retail Strategies for city council approval.
I'd be happy to second that. Mr. Bowman doesn't want to.
Well, I do have a motion from Dr. Lahr, certain of that, and too many words, Matt. Greg got it out first, and a second by Mr. Bowman to authorize the mayor and manager to negotiate an agreement with Retail Strategies for council approval. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Lahr,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Brooks,
No.
Parsons,
No.
Swallow. Yes. Hoffman.
Yes. Item 12, discussion and action to approve City of Alva Resolution 2024-011, resolution of the City of Alva, City Council amending the FY 23-24 annual budget for the City of Alva. Which one is this, Steve? Go ahead.
This is transfer money from the AUA to the stability account, so stability fund. They basically just allows us to receive it in.
Into the stabilization fund?
Yes.
So this would be the portion of, so when we passed our budget originally, there was not a stabilization fund. The stabilization fund has since been established, and this is the technical side of ensuring that we can move funds into the stabilization fund.
Is required ordinance, 2%.
Discussion, motion?
I'll make a motion to approve City of Alva Resolution 2024-012.
Second.
Are you on 11 or 12?
11, I've got, did you mean 2024-011?
Yes. I'm sorry.
I think that's fine. You misspoke on the.
Okay. And you meant to second that?
Yes.
Okay. I have a motion from Mr. Bowman, a second from Dr. Lahr to approve City of Alva Resolution 2024-011, resolution of the Alva City Council amending the 23-24 annual budget for the City of Alva. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Lahr,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Swallow. Yes. Adair,
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
Page 3. Number 13 is discussion and action to approve City of Alva Resolution 2024-012, resolution of the City Council amending the 23-24 annual budget for the City of Alva. This is also for stabilization fund from the general fund.
I'll make the motion to approve Alva Resolution 2024-012.
Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Bowman, a second from Dr. Lahr to approve Resolution 2024-012, amending the fiscal year 23-24 annual budget for the city. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Lahr,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Swallow. Yes. Hoffman.
Yes.
Item 14, discussion and action to approve Resolution 2024-013, resolution of the City of Alva, Oklahoma City Council calling for a special election to amend Article 5, Hotel Tax, Section 20-147, tax rate of the City of Alva Code of Ordinances to levy an excise tax of 8% upon the gross proceeds or gross receipts derived from all rent for every occupancy of a room in a hotel in this city, except that the tax shall not be imposed where the rent is less than the rate and the amount on file in the city clerk's office per day, by revoking said section in its entirety and replacing said section with the immediate ordinance. This is only dealing with the tax rate section. All the other sections that we approved earlier this year, amending, remain as they were. And this is not, city council action does not put this rate into place, but city council action does cause this to go to a vote of the people. Is there discussion?
Well, I will say that I'm going to abstain on this because my family is in the motel business. We have been here in Alva for over 20 years. You know, I've seen some of the great things they've done, the tourism tax. I personally don't think that 17.25% sales tax is, no matter what you're buying or what you're staying in or purchasing, I don't think that's acceptable for anything. I know that I would never want to pay that amount of sales tax on anything that I was using or buying, but that's my thought on, you know, that. But I see that there's been benefit to the community with it. But I think that, you know, that is pretty steep for anything as far as tax goes. I think it's a great way to welcome visitors to our community. We're glad you're here, but now we're going to charge you 17.25% to stay here. But my thoughts on it are probably different than the majority being from the motel business. So, and I do acknowledge that and understand that.
I agree with Joe. I don't particularly like it when I'm traveling, I go stay somewhere, and then I get a bill and I'm seeing somebody skimming money off of me when I'm, you know, when I'm out on vacation or staying somewhere. It doesn't really say we're glad to have you here. It just looks like they're taking advantage of me is the way I feel. And I think if you want to be competitive, I think you want to advertise you've got the lowest tax of any other communities around.
Have you ever, when going, say, staying in Oklahoma City, ever not booked at a hotel because their hotel tax was higher than another community?
I have one place I stay, generally in Oklahoma City. But when I go stay in, like, you know, Airbnb or bed and breakfast, I look for the cheapest I can get, or, you know, the different community. You can spot different communities around. You don't have to just stay in one town. So I do target them occasionally, yeah.
Is there any further discussion? I would entertain a motion.
I would love to see what the citizens of Alva have to say about it. I take the points of my two fellow councilmen to heart. I think those were well thought out and well reasoned articulations, but I'm not sure that cutting off our economic nose to spike taxes other places is going to be effective for growing Alva. So I'm certainly interested to see what our citizens have to say about it, and I would so move that we put this to a vote of the citizens as worded in the section on the agenda under number 14.
Second.
All right, who was it?
I have a motion from Mr. Adair and a second from Mr. Hoffman to approve Resolution 2024-013, calling for a special election to amend the hotel tax to levy 8% on gross proceeds of receipts for lodging. And, as stated as item 14 in the agenda. You did that well more eloquently than I did. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Adair,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Brooks,
No.
Lawrence,
No.
Parsons,
Abstain.
Bowman,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
That is 4 in favor. That motion carries. We'll get that to the election board. Item 15, discussion and action to enter into executive session pursuant to 25 OS 307B1 and B2 to discuss the fiscal year 24-25 City of Alva and IAFF Local 3782 negotiations and city employee pension vesting timeline. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Bowman, a second by Dr. Lahr to enter into executive session. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Lahr,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. We will come out of this session in a little bit, and you're welcome to rejoin us if you're still here. Item 17, discussion and action regarding city employee pension vesting timeline. There's no action to be taken today. Item 18, new business. We don't have anything that meets the definition of new business. Item 19, remarks and inquiries by council members.
Do we know, I know we burnt part of the limbs, do we know when it's going to be opened back up, or is it? I've seen the Facebook post that it was no more.
I think, I gotta talk to Ronnie, we may open it back up tomorrow.
So
He's still out there pushing stuff around, trying to get it all clear up, smooth up, to where the only hot spot out there is in our little containment area. We'll make sure that's contained in there before people start driving out there and drive over something they shouldn't.
and this might be something more for sanitation committee, but could we look into what it'd take to establish a policy to kind of prevent the commercial dumping out there, maybe of the, and maybe we can maintain it better than maybe we're able to, but it just seems like there's a lot of stuff that goes out there that we could.
Yeah, Ronnie and I have been talking about looking up a way to monitor who goes in there and
Yeah.
dumps, and track that, and somehow associate it with the water bill.
Okay, yeah, that's, yeah.
So we're still trying to work something up like that, we're gonna work up and bring it to council,
Sounds
or at least the sanitation committee.
Any other remarks and inquiries by council members? City Council is adjourned, and we will call to order the Alva Utility Authority meeting. Please call the roll.
Sorry, Utility, you said? Hoffman,
Here.
Lawrence.
Here.
Swallow,
Here.
Adair,
Here.
Brooks,
Here.
Parsons,
Here.
Bowman.
Here. Item 3 is discussion and action on the consent agenda. All of the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at AUA meetings will be approved by one vote of the authority. Any trustee desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items. Item A, approval of the minutes of regular meeting of April 15th, 2024. Item B, approval of the minutes of special meeting April 25th, 2024. And item C, approval of claims in the amount of $183,436.83 and payroll expenses of $62,394.77.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Bowman, a second from Dr. Lahr to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
Item 5, discussion and action to award Worth Hydrochem the lowest and best bid of $348,830 for the City of Alva Wellfield Telemetry System Upgrade Project, and authorize the mayor or city business manager to sign all necessary documents. Once approved, there's already a change order in place to reduce or increase?
No, so the original cost of the bid was $427,800.
Okay,
The change order was in the direction of $78,970, brings it down to $348,830.
Drew, do we need to approve the whole amount?
Yes, because change order wouldn't have taken,
Yeah.
can't take place till they've been awarded.
So we do need to, any motion that's made needs to be for the bid of $427,800. But just know that there will be a change order to reduce that. What's the change order for?
They dropped something off there that they changed the radios or something a little bit to make it a lot cheaper.
So it was $427,800, the lowest bid, period?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this going to change any way of how it functions or any lifespan or anything like that? Changing you said they changed the radios?
Yeah, no, it won't affect them. So the original bid, where it was 482, was cellular,
Make that bigger.
and so this one right here, this was cellular, all bid 2, and then the all bid 3 moves it to cellular modem and radio software. So it's actually the radio lasts a little longer than the cellular, they think, and it's more secure, it's more stable. You know, cell towers go down sometimes when power goes out. Radios, if there's, it should still be working.
I'll make a motion to award Worth Hydrochem the lowest best bid of $427,800 for the City of Alva Wellfield Telemetry System Upgrade Project, and authorize the mayor or city business manager to sign all necessary documents.
We didn't get to it, but this is being funded out of the FAP loan that we approved earlier this year. So it's funding that was borrowed with this purpose in mind. And these are the bids that we've gone out to bid. Is this the third twice on this project?
I'll second it.
I have a motion for Mr. Bowman and a second for Mrs. Swallow to award Worth Hydrochem the lowest and best bid of $427,800 for the City of Alva Wellfield Telemetry System Upgrade Project, and authorize mayor and business manager to sign all necessary documents. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
Item number 6, discussion and action to approve utility authority resolution 2024-003, a resolution of the utility authority amending the 23-24 annual budget for the utility authority. A lot of utility authority in there. This is the sister resolution to the one we approved in City Council earlier for the stabilization funds, correct? I'd entertain a motion or discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve Alva Utility Authority Resolution 2024-003.
I'll second it.
Have a motion from Mr. Bowman and a second from Mr. Brooks to approve AUA Resolution 2024-003. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Sorry, who seconded?
Brooks and Troy.
Thanks. Bowman,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Swallow. Yes. Adair,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Lar.
Yes.
We don't have anything that qualifies as new business, and therefore we will adjourn the Utility Authority meeting and call to order the Economic Development Authority meeting. When you're ready, please call the roll.
Hoffman,
Here.
Lar. Here. Swallow. Here. Adair,
Here.
Brooks.
Here.
Parsons.
Here.
Bowman.
Here.
Item 3 is discussion and action on the consent agenda. All of the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at ADA meetings will be approved by one vote of the authority. Any trustee desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda, and will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items. Item A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of April 15th, 2024, and item B, approval of claims in the amount of $491,229.33 and payroll expenses of $19,722.28.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Bowman and a second from Dr. Lahr to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Lar.
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Swallow. Yes.
Item 5 is discussion and action to approve NWSU 2024 fall semester Alva Incentive Scholarship expenditure in the amount of $272,010. We heard the presentation earlier. This is the action item related to that. Steve has the invoice and the recipients pulled up on the screen. It's also in the packet.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the NWSU 2024 fall semester Alva Initiative scholarship expenditures in the amount of $272,010.
Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Bowman, a second from Mr. Hoffman to approve the NWSU 2024 fall semester Alva Incentive scholarship in the amount of $272,010. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
Brooks,
No.
Lar.
Yes.
Swallow. Yes.
Item 6 is discussion and action to approve City of Alva ADA Resolution 2024-003, a resolution of the Economic Development Authority amending the 23-24 annual budget for the Economic Development Authority. This one,
Gets us to the right amount for the ball fields.
So-
Amending that from original budget was $1,216,629. Final agreed upon bids we accepted was $1,668,376. Just trying to reflect correctly in the budget.
and that was the bids that were approved. We also did receive, we had balance of funds available. I will say that that's what we're adjusting here, but we did have also additional revenue with NWSU kicking in more than what was originally budgeted. And I think they were budgeted at like 80,000, they kicked in 120 something. And then we had more donations as well.
And we've already
It's already
approved
approved.
this. This is just a, yeah.
Make a motion to approve City of Alva AEDA Resolution 2024-003.
Second.
Have a motion from Dr. Lahr and a second from Mrs. Swallow to approve the ADA Resolution 2024-003. Is there there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Laura?
Yes.
Swallow?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes.
Hoffman?
Yes.
Parsons?
Yes.
Adair?
Yes.
We do not have anything that qualifies as new business, and therefore we